Okay, let's dive into this. The stock that's got everybody talking today is GCTS, that's GCT Semiconductor. It just had an absolutely explosive day, and we're going to break down exactly what happened, what it all means, and, what to watch for next. First off, just look at that number, a gain of over 27%. To give you some perspective, the entire S&P 500 hopes for maybe 10% in a whole year. GCTS did almost triple that in a single day. A move that big? Well, it doesn't just turn heads, it gets people asking some really critical questions.
And really, that's the big question here, isn't it? Is this sudden explosion the start of something huge, a golden opportunity you can't miss? Or is it a dangerous trap, a rally that's just gone way too far, way too fast? To figure that out, we really have to dig into the technical signals behind this whole move.
So let's start with the bull case, because there is some seriously powerful evidence that this is a lot more than just some random one-day spike. The story here is all about a sudden, undeniable explosion of interest.
The first clue is the volume. We're talking a relative volume of over 46. That means 46 times the usual number of shares changed hands. To put that in perspective, imagine a quiet library that suddenly, out of nowhere, is hosting a massive rock concert. That's the kind of noise, the kind of activity we saw here. It's a huge signal that the big players are now paying very close attention.
And I mean, just look at the visual scale of this spike. It's kind of crazy. On the left, you've got an average day. It's barely a blip. Then, boom, overnight, it explodes into this skyscraper on the right. We went from around 380,000 shares to nearly 175 million. This isn't just a small bump, it's a total change in the stock's entire personality.
And it's not just the volume. All the key trend indicators, the tools that tell us about the strength and direction of a move, they are all flashing bright green. The ADX, which measures trend strength, is over 30. That signals a really powerful trend is taking hold. Then you've got the Aroon indicator, which spots new highs, sitting at a perfect 100. It's confirming, yep, we just hit a fresh peak. And finally, the parabolic SAR, it's just giving a clear, straight-up buy signal. Basically, all systems are go.
And this right here, this is a huge victory for the bulls. That 50-day moving average, it's a really important medium-term benchmark. Smashing through it like this, well, it's not a small step. It's like the stock just won a major battle, reclaiming critical territory and showing some serious strength.
But, okay, this is where the story gets interesting. With this much power and this much speed, you have to ask yourself, is the engine running a little too hot? So let's flip to the other side of the coin and look at how this incredible momentum could actually be a warning sign that a pullback is coming.
So here's the core conflict. On one side, the engine of this rally. It's being fueled by incredible volume and trend strength. It's super powerful. But on the other side, a bunch of the key gauges on the dashboard are flashing red, signaling that this thing might be extremely overbought and is at risk of just overheating.
Our first big warning light is from an indicator called the StochRSI. Think of it like a short-term momentum gauge. And a reading of 100, which is what we've got here, is the absolute maximum. It's basically pinned to the top. It's screaming that the short-term buying pressure has pretty much hit its ceiling, putting the stock in a state of maximum overbought conditions.
Right behind that, you've got the Money Flow Index, or MFI, which is sitting at an incredibly high 98.38. Think of this like a popularity contest. A high score means everybody is rushing to get in. But a score this high suggests that almost every possible buyer has already jumped in, which, it kind of begs the question, who's left to buy?
And the story of potential exhaustion just keeps going with the Commodity Channel Index, the CCI. Now, being way above the plus 100 level absolutely confirms the strength of the breakout, for sure. But it's also a major warning that this rally might be getting dangerously stretched out.
And finally, even with all this crazy upward momentum, there's still a huge hurdle ahead. The stock made a massive wave, right? But the long-term tide, which is represented by that 200-day moving average, is still above where the price is now. That's a huge psychological barrier that the stock has got to overcome to prove this is a real long-term turnaround.
So, with these two powerful forces pulling in completely opposite directions, how do we make any sense of it? Well, we look at the battleground, the key price levels that are going to tell us who's winning this fight between the buyers and the sellers.
So here's the roadmap. First things first, for the bulls to stay in charge, they absolutely have to defend support right around 97 cents. Their next target, the immediate goal, is to clear that pivot point at $1.40. Now, if they can do that, it opens up a clear path toward the next big resistance level up at $1.70. These are the lines in the sand.
All right, let's bring this all together for the final takeaway. What we're looking at here is a classic Wall Street story, where a truly incredible opportunity is staring directly at a very significant risk. So you have this tale of two tapes. The bull case is undeniable. You've got massive, historic volume, powerful trend signals, but the risk case is just as strong. You have oscillators that are totally maxed out, signaling extreme exhaustion, and that huge long-term resistance is looming right overhead.
This quote from the report, it just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the two-sided nature of what's happening. So the crucial point here is understanding that balance. The breakout is real, it is absolutely powerful, but the risks of a sharp, sudden pullback are just as real, and they just can't be ignored.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question. When you have this kind of explosive momentum going, head-to-head with this level of extreme risk, which side is going to blink first? That's the billion-dollar question that the market is going to answer for us in the next few days.